Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It is week 7 coming up here in the parable of Henry Ruggs in this fantasy football league. And I gotta say, things are getting interesting right now. Things are really heating up. We are finding out right now who are the competitors in this league, who are the favorites to win it all, and we're finding out who most certainly is not. And so, with that being said, let's go ahead. Let's get into the standings. Here's the standings. Dak D's nuts in your mouth, number 1 in wins and points scored. Ruggs and Alcohol not too far behind. Both teams are 5-1. Both these teams have been really impressive from the start. Pretty clear cut favorites in this league, with Ruggs and Alcohol putting up 790 points, and also Dak D's nuts in your mouth putting up 830. The other two 5-1 teams. Yes, they have a good record, but not quite the points scored. Both have 640, and those teams are Pig 6 and the Devengers. So impressive records for them, but not quite the firepower of the top two teams in the league. As for most of the other teams, are just middle of the pack teams, averaging around 600, mid to low 600s in this league. One thing does stand out to me, though. My Cool Penix, coached by head coach Caleb Jackson. This team has put up 715 points, but they're 4-2, so they could be a potential sleeper to win it all, in my opinion. Maybe just a bad week one week, but they could potentially win it all. And then the bottom feeders, I mean, Tomato Town still winless. They just can't put it together to win a game. Now here's a guy that's 1-5. Their only win is against Tomato Town. Then we got No Mo Juice and the Benson Boars with 2 wins. So these teams, their playoff chances are pretty slim, but we still got some football to play, so we'll see what happens. And with our first game of the week, we've got Tomato Town taking on the Devengers. Now, listen to me for just a minute. I understand. You look at the records. Both these teams, they don't look very close to each other in terms of skill, but just listen to me for just a moment. Just hold your fire. All right? This team, the Devengers, they lost Tyreek Hill, a very important part of this team, a few weeks ago. And I got to tell you, they have not looked the same since. In their past 2 games, they've put up 85 points and 83 points, respectively. Tomato Town's lowest scoring game this season has been 88, and that was with Bijan Robinson on a bye week. So this is an interesting game. In the projections, Tomato Town is favored, but at the same time, every game they've been favored to win this season, they have not done so. 0-6. So we'll see if they can actually pull one out. Nothing surprises me anymore. I don't know. Anything could happen. So I would pay attention to this game. We could see an upset here, I think. And with our second game of the week now, we've got Michael Penix taking on Cooper Swag Swisher Sweets. And I got to tell you, this is a game where we've got 2 teams that are 3-3 record-wise, but if you look at the stats, I think you'll see that we've got a clear favorite in this one, and that's Michael Penix. As I mentioned before, this team is one of 3 teams that has scored over 700 points so far in this league. They are only sitting at 3-3, so they've just had some unlucky matchups, I guess, some unlucky weeks. But this is a team that has proven they've got some firepower, and on any given week they can go for 150, maybe even more. So I see them winning this game, but don't sleep on the Swisher Sweets. This is a team that was 1-3 a few weeks ago, but they made the switch at quarterback. They took out Jake Browning, they put in Sam Darnold, and I gotta tell you, this team's been a different team since. Ever since they made that switch in the last game, they scored 130 points. The game before, their last game was against the bye week. But the game before that, they made the switch with Sam Darnold, and they dropped 130. So this team, while they might not have started good, the last 2 games have been pretty successful for them. So don't sleep on the Swisher Sweets, but I've got Michael Penix taking this one. And with our third matchup of the week, we've got the Benson Boars taking on App is Stupid. This game, I gotta say, this one's gonna be a close one. We got a 2-4 team taking on a 3-3 team, but in terms of scoring, these teams have been neck and neck. Their last two games, App is Stupid has put up 96 and 101, and then the Benson Boars have put up 101 and 102 respectively. I don't know. I mean, it's just gonna come down to who wants it more, I think. I will say this too. I will add this in. One important factor to keep in mind: the Benson Boars have missed George Kittle, who has been on IR for a while, and George Kittle could potentially be returning this Sunday. So if he is able to return, that could play a huge factor into this game. That could give the Boars the edge in this matchup. But as far as a prediction goes, I'm really not sure. I think App is Stupid wins if there's no George Kittle, but if George Kittle returns, I'm taking the Benson Boars. And with our fourth matchup of the week, we've got Evan team taking on Now Here's a Guy. And I really don't expect much from this one. Now Here's a Guy, 1-5. Their only win being against, of course, Tomato Town. I will say, I got to give head coach Cameron Matthews credit. He has really prepared this team to take on rival head coaches Brady Thomas and Noah Bonzel, putting up some legacy game numbers there, scoring 136 and 131 against those teams. But against all other teams in competition, they're really just putting up like 105, 190s. Nothing too impressive in those games. So they've shown they can put up high numbers, but just when they want to. And this week they're going up against Evan team. This is a team that is pretty consistently averaged around 120 points a game. Just been solid all year round, 3-3, middle of the pack team. I don't see them beating Evan team this week. But who knows? Maybe Cameron Matthews, maybe he gets them ready, gets them fired up. Maybe they go out there and drop 135, 140, and maybe they win the game. But Evan Hill and his team, Evan team, I don't doubt them in their ability. They've proven that they're a pretty solid, consistent team. So I'm taking them in this matchup. And now matchup 5 of the week, we've got Dak D's Nuts in Your Mouth taking on No Mo Juice. In other words, we've got the favorite to win it all versus an absolute bottom feeder in this league. No Mo Juice. Trying to think of how to paint a picture here as to how lopsided this matchup could get and how ugly it could get. Dak D's Nuts in Your Mouth. This team, their lowest scoring game this season is 111 points, and No Mo Juice, their highest scoring game this season is 116. And that game was in week 1. That was 6 games ago for this team. They have not hit that number since. They have not broken 110 since. So I don't see any way they beat this team. It's going to take an absolute miracle. It's going to take some Jordan Hare voodoo magic. It's going to take like Jesus walking on water. It's going to take like all kinds of miracles. And even then they might not win. I don't know. I don't see any way they win. I'm putting the house on Dak D's Nuts in Your Mouth. Also want to add some context for this matchup. Dak D's Nuts in Your Mouth is projected to win by 18 points against No Mo Juice. And they're doing this with Emeka Egbuka, Puka Nacua, and Amarian Hampton all out for this game. And being favored by this many points with 3 top-tier players out of your lineup just doesn't seem fair. And what's even crazier is Puka Nacua and Emeka Egbuka both could potentially return before the start of before Sunday football kicks off. So if they're able to come back and be inserted into the lineup before this game starts, then this could get even uglier, which is crazy. And now for our last game of Week 7, the game of the week, we've got Pig 6 taking on Rugs and Alcohol. This is a primetime game right here. This is a game you most certainly want to watch if you want to watch good football. This is what I'm talking about right here. We've got 2 teams that are 5-1, 2 teams that very clearly want to win it all and think they're ready to win it all. We're going to see who's best in this matchup. We've got Pig 6, who started the season off having some doubters, but recently they've put those doubts to rest, winning their last 2 games, especially very convincingly. But this other team, Rugs and Alcohol, they've been 5-1, yes, and they've been putting up some good numbers, but their last 3 games, they're averaging 150 points. This team is hot. This team's on fire. Not to mention, their past 2 games, they've scored 140 points plus, and they had Rico Dowdle on the bench. On the bench, for crying out loud. This team is red hot, and they're putting them in the lineup this week against Pig 6. But wait a minute. Pig 6, they've got an answer, okay? In the lineup this week, they are inserting a brand new weapon of their own. Rashee Rice. Wide receiver 1 for the Kansas City Chiefs. He's got Mahomes throwing to him. This is going to be a good game. I mean, we're going to see some real fireworks in this game, I think, for sure. Both these teams, I don't know who's going to win. But I'll tell you what. This I do know. This weekend, Patrick Pig, head coach of Pig 6, this Saturday, this man is going to become a married man. This man's getting married Saturday. And I got to tell you, this team, they're going to be fired up. They're going to be pumped up. They're going to want to win this game for him. Rugs and Alcohol, I know they're the better team right now, and they're the favorite to win this one. But give me Pig 6 to win this game. Also important to note, we've got Madison Beer's daddy, who's on a bye week this week. A solid team. Started the season off 4-0, but they've actually lost their last 2 games. Those 2 games in their defense have been to Pig 6 and the Devengers. But at the same time, they just haven't looked like themselves. Last game, they actually scored 61 points, but that was partly in fault to their manager, who left an inactive wide receiver and kicker in the game for them. So, not sure what's been going on there, but they clearly haven't been themselves. So, hopefully they can use this bye week to regather and regroup and show back up next week. And that's going to be all for Week 7, the Week 7 preview this week. Be sure to follow along, see what happens, and the parable of Henry Ruggs. Anything can happen. It's fantasy football. We'll see you guys next time.